You know, if you want to donate to the trip or whatever, you can hold off, wait, do whatever you feels right. But links are in the description. And
Hey guys, how's it going? We
don't go
got
without on the road.
we got Austin is still live streaming, so I'm just watching him. But um, he showed us a guy's dream. It's kind of crazy. So we'll refer to that. But I just wanted to. I think he's pretty much done, and hopefully he comes over here and checks this out because some of the stuff that he was saying in the stream. If you guys didn't watch it, I put a link to Austin's stream in the description. And wow, so this guy, whoever he is, doesn't really matter who he is. He had a dream, and he's just telling about his dream, right? He's Marcus Rogers. Now, people in Austin's chat were going, talking about who Marcus Rogers was and saying things about him. I don't care who Marcus Rogers is, and it doesn't matter who Marcus Rogers is. But let's go to Joel 2 really quick. I just want to tell you why I don't really care who Marcus Rogers is, but I'd rather hear about his dream. Could be something. If God gives someone a dream, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything about that person. It might be a dream, and then that person shares it. And like Austin was pointing out some things. By the way, shout out to Austin Witsit. That guy, I'm like very impressed with the things he's realizing and saying. Okay, verse 28 in Joel 2, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days I will pour out my spirit. Okay, the reason why I'm reading that is because in the end of days, God's going to give people dreams and visions, and they're going to be significant things that the body of Christ would be interested in understanding, I'm sure. And so I don't know how to do this. I don't know if it's best to play this. This is 16 minutes. I don't want to play the whole thing because Austin played it in his stream. But the guy had a dream where he went up to what sounds like New Jerusalem, and he saw some things, and we're going to look in the scriptures and we're going to find the things that he seems to be describing. It's kind of amazing. So maybe we'll just watch this for a few minutes, and then I'll come back or I'll pause it or whatever, and I'll show you some scriptures that are, I think, amazing. He sees a globe up in the temple of God, you guys, with a snake wrapped around it. And I think Ezekiel saw that. This is a crazy thing. So let's just listen to him for a minute. I'm not trying to be repetitive from Austin's stream, but honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing. So let's just listen to this for a while.
Record this, and I want to deliver it the way that God gave it to me. I woke up last night and I felt a knock on my soul, like the door of my soul. And many of you know the dreams I've had before. It's like I know when it's God, it's like his fingertip is touching your soul and he's like almost pulling you out of your sleep. And it's like you feel it echoing down the whole hallway of your being. And so I woke up and I knew like this was probably one of the biggest dreams that God had ever, given me. And so I want to share that with you guys and just pray for me. I didn't want to share this part, but in the beginning, there was these witches and they had me bound. And they were trying to do, sexual things to keep me distracted. And I could feel it like I was resisting. And I remember looking in the eyes of this witch, and it was like she was trying to keep my focus from seeing like what was going on around me. And I was begging, the Lord, like, get me out of here. Like, it was, one of those, when it's spiritual warfare, it's this demonic feeling. You could feel the enemies attacking your mind. It's like, Lord, get me out of this. And they were trying to bind me so strong. And I broke out. And it was like I could see over a city. It's kind of like when a movie starts. And I knew I was in the future. And there was these armored trucks, kind of patrolling the street. It was like more like a military police.
I think I'm
this
gonna
part of
skip
the
a little
dream
bit.
is just, I feel like it was so open. It was so beautiful.
Okay, here we go.
It was like the ceiling was the most beautiful thing. And when I say it's huge, I looked up. Imagination, just wait for the rest of the dream. And so next thing I know, I'm in this huge palace and it's beautiful. And when I say it's huge, I looked up and it was like the ceiling was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen, but it felt like it was moving. Like I could see the end of it, but it was just moving, like it was expanding. And the same thing, the hall was so big, there was these huge pillars. It was so open, it was so beautiful. And I saw like stones I had never seen before that was so beautiful, but it was like it was expanding, and it was like it went up forever and it went out forever. And this is the first thing that really hit me. I looked to my left, and in the corner there was this small like statue or altar, and there was 4 pillars, and on the 4 pillars there was 4 beast. Now I'm not the kind of person, I'm not a revelation expert, so maybe somebody else could take this in prayer, but there was 4 heads of a beast, and they had the bodies of a dragon, and there was a globe that was in the middle, and it was all gold, and there was a snake that was wrapped around the globe. It was wrapped around the earth, and I knew immediately that it was the snake from the garden.
Okay, so he's saying that he saw a globe. And do you remember where he is? He said he was in a palace, this beautiful big palace he was in the temple of God, okay? The reason why I want to stop it there is I just want to read Ezekiel 8. Because Ezekiel got pulled up to the temple of God by his hair, by his spirit, and he saw something interesting. I'll just read in Ezekiel 8 here. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, and as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by the lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. And behold, the glory of God of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. So then I'll just I'll keep reading, I guess. Sorry. Verse 5, Then he said unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary? But turn ye thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. Okay, so he's going to see another thing here, but we're going to listen to Marcus a little bit more. So that was just kind of interesting, an image of jealousy. And it doesn't really explain anymore in Ezekiel 8 what that is. But it was up in the entry of the temple. Okay, that's important. So let's listen to this a little more.
Now the bodies of the beasts were dragons, and the snake was somehow connected to the dragons and the beasts. But here's the thing where I heard God speak to me.
Dragons.
In that huge palace, that thing was so small and tiny. And God was showing me that he's so much bigger than everything that is going on in the world. That small, I mean, the palace, I knew I was somewhere in heaven. It was so beautiful. And it's like that thing was just sitting in the corner, and it was like God had his eye on it. Like it wasn't bigger than his pinky toe. Like it was just sitting there, and God was showing me that even with all the craziness happening, that's a small thing to him.
See, I think God's showing him something else, and I think you guys can probably understand that too. He saw the serpent wrapped around the globe, and this guy's still thinking that he lives on a globe. So that's sad, but Austin was thinking about reaching out to him, and I hope he does, because that would be a good thing. But yeah, I think God's showing this guy something else about the earth, because just wait, he saw some blueprints of the earth. So just wait, hear this out. This is good.
And then I looked into another corner, and I saw like a similar statue, and it was dragon heads coming up, and there was 4 of them, and I knew it represented the corners of the earth, and there was like fire pouring out of their mouth on the earth, but they had angel winged bodies, and I knew that God was allowing it. That was representation that God was allowing it. And then I saw Africa, and it was moving closer to another continent, and the water source in between was getting smaller. I don't know if this represented famine or anything like that, but it was like the 2 lands had to be brought closer together. All right. And so I want to, get into this next part, and this next part just had me just broken. Like I was crying, like I was already like, wow. And so I kind of left the palace area, and there was like a boat, and I was in a total dark place. And God usually does this with me with my sermons. Like I'll see an image, and it's like it's pulsing, and then it moves out and it moves back in, and I have to wait. It's like God is waiting for me to see it and get it. And so it was like a huge stormy wave. And then after I saw that, I saw a ship pulling up. And when the ship pulled up, I saw on the side, and I mean the storm was bad, I saw a small sliver of like green light that was like right under the boat. And you ever see the cars that they have like the lights underneath when you open the door? It was like that. There was a small sliver of green light, and I mean the storm was so bad. But then I saw somebody, and I knew it represented the church. And they stepped off the boat in the middle of the storm, and that green sliver began to expand over the waves, and the storm wave that I saw, it turned into like a green hill, and the grass was so beautiful, and the grass was so luscious, and it's like the waves and all the water literally turned into a green pasture. And I knew immediately, like in the dream, I began to think about Psalms 23 about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. But when the church stepped out in the middle of the storm, everywhere that they stepped where it was a storm, it turned into a green pasture. And then I don't know how to really explain this, but when the person stepped out, it was like God showed me like it was a reaction to the person that represented the church stepping out. And I saw these golden wings flapping. But on the golden wings, they were flapping like behind the person, and they didn't begin to flap until the person stepped out. And on the golden wings, I saw golden coins that were shining. And like I said, God, it's like he be giving me the interpretation while it was happening, and it was sending like a breeze behind the person, and it was quickening them. And the Lord was letting me know that there's going to be kingdom finances and kingdom resources in the middle of the storm. If you step out in faith, there's going to be a provision that only God can provide.
Yeah, Rich M, I think he's probably checking notes, because I would probably write notes down myself if I was going to try to remember all this for a video. So I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary there.
But it's going to look real ugly. And it's going to look real bad, but you're going to have to step out anyway. And he's going to say, he's going to provide and he's going to take care of his people. And for some reason I was scared, and I screamed and I screamed. And I don't know how to explain it. It was like my soul was screaming. And then God just spoke to me and said, I'm showing you this. And he told me to come on. So I kept coming. And I saw this small hole. And I was looking up at it. And there was a light at the top. And it was a large pit. And just like the palace, when I looked down into the darkness, it was so dark, it was like it was moving and it was expanding.
You know, they say space is ever expanding, continuously expanding, right? Here, I was going to show you this too. While he's saying this, I'll put this a little bit bigger. This is the Startrails. The star in the middle is the North Star, and Enoch wrote about that star. We'll read about it in a little bit here. Let's see.
And a body came through the top, and I knew it represented Satan, and he was just falling.
Oh yeah, you know what? You know what else about space? Anything in space is free falling perpetually. It's falling around another object. This is what they say. Now, I don't believe it, but that's because it's a deception. But they say that the astronauts on the space station, they're orbiting the Earth, so they're falling around the Earth perpetually. And if you send a rocket to Mars, it's going to orbit Mars, or it's going to orbit. Everything in space is free falling. That's what they believe.
And then I went back into the palace. And I saw a bowl, like how they would wash their hands, you know, like during the Roman Empire time. And when I look into it, I saw water and I saw clock handles spinning. But when I looked in, it was like it was deep, and the clock handles were like echoing down into the water, and they were all spinning and expanding. And it was like I couldn't see the bottom. It was just expanding just like the palace. And while they were spinning, it was like in between, I saw blueprints. Like when somebody, architect is building something, but those blueprints were the earth. And the verse came to me about, I've slain, the lamb was slain before the foundations of the earth. And so I knew when I was looking at the blueprints, I was looking at the blueprints of the earth. And when I saw the time, you guys know I always say that God created time, so he sits out of time and space. And God spoke to me and he said, I'm the living water, and I hold all time and space in my hands. And then this is the craziest thing right here that I have to read this to you guys.
All right, I just wanted to pause it there because I just wanted to say, okay, the stars are in water, you guys. Dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. And that is God's secret place. And it is a clock, a perfect clock. That's how we tell time. That's how we say a year is a year, because the stars come back to the exact position. So don't believe this heliocentric garbage. And we're not, we're going to talk about Ezekiel 8. We're going to read some more verses in a little bit here. So, but yeah, it's a clock and it's water. There's waters above.
So remember I said that I woke up at exactly 1:43. And usually when, you know, God gives me numbers or something, sometimes it's, you know, it's a Bible verse. And so let me pull this up real quick. Thank you, Jesus. So I typed in 143 Bible verse, and 2 verses popped up, and it just made me cry even more. And the first one, let me read the because I took some screenshots, was in Revelations, and it was the one that stood out to me. And so the verse that popped up, it was 1:17, Revelations, and Isaiah 43. When I just put the numbers in, those are the two verses. So let me read this. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. Write the things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. And so I read that, and he said, Fear not, I am the first and the last. And it made me think of the bowl with the time and the space and how it continued and how he's the living water. And he says, I have the keys of hell and death. And it made me think of the vision of the pit. And then he said, write these things down which thou hast seen. And I knew he was telling me to write down the dream. And then I clicked on Isaiah 43. And it was so crazy to me that both of these things popped up. And it says, But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. And so, of course, I thought about the boat in the storm. For I am the Lord thy God, the Holy One of Israel, the Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee. Since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee and people for thy life. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west.
Do you guys remember how often I'm talking about I read Isaiah 43 all the time because it's a prophecy of the children of Israel, and he asks them, who among you can declare this and show us former things? And then I was like, what is former things? And I'll share that with you after the video, after this is done here. But he's going to read that verse right now.
Say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. And I remember I saw the four pillars, and it represented the four corners of the earth, north, south, east, west. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth. And I saw the ends of the earth, even everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified. Or let them hear and say it is truth.
It is truth. He kind of just skipped over that part.
Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. Even I am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, that I am God. Yea, before the day was I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it?
Okay, so I just want to say, I know Austin is starting to see this same thing that I've been seeing here, or this same aspect of these times, and it is that some of us were called, or you could say chosen, and we were made into witnesses. We have a vision of truth. And it is a true thing. It's true, the truth that we're talking about. But this is one thing that I think this guy probably doesn't quite understand yet. But I bet you, like if Austin gets a hold of him, or if someone gets a hold of him and mentions to him, that globe you saw in heaven, that's like a thing that shouldn't be there. It's probably why it had a serpent wrapped around it. But anyway, I'll let him finish here. We only got like 2 minutes left.
Thus saith the Lord your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for thy sake I have sent to Babylon, and have brought down all their nobles and Chaldeans, whose cry is in the ships. I am the Lord your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus saith the Lord, which maketh a way in the sea, and a path in the mighty waters. Which bringeth forth the chariot and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. They are extinct, they are quenched as tow. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. There's no way I can make this stuff up, man. I woke up at 1:43. I Googled, and those were the two verses that came up. And this was after I had the dream. So I don't care what nobody says. Nobody could tell me that God is not real. He's in full control. You better pray. You better fast. You better seek him like never before. Repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand, and get ready for the greatest revival that we've ever seen. I love you guys. Be blessed. Be encouraged. Pray for me. I was a little bit discouraged about opening this church with everything that is going on, but I'll talk about that later.
All right, so here we go. Let's do some reading, you guys. By the way, Austin's, this is the stream that he was on. I'll put it in the chat right now. I don't know if he's still live. No, he's not live. I don't think. But my my tab, I think, thinks he's still alive. Whoops, not that chat. This chat. But yeah, this is the video that Austin made. Really interesting, really good points in here. So if you go over there, give him a thumbs up and subscribe to his channel. So let's see here. I'm going to look at the book of Enoch, chapter 71. The temple of God. Where is the temple of God? Where's the throne of God? Well, Enoch tells us in chapter 71. And what I'm going to do for this, do I still have, I got to make sure you guys are seeing the right page. Okay, yeah, you're seeing Enoch, and it's kind of covered up with the stars. Okay, so I'm going to move those over. Whoops. Oh, no. I have way too many screens playing the same thing that I can't really tell which one I'm supposed to use. Okay. First of all, I'm going to put it down there because there's a dragon flying in the firmament, guys. I could say that again, and still none of you, or many of you, won't hear it. I'm not saying none of you. I don't know why I said that. I could say this. Most of you won't hear it. John saw, and Daniel saw, 10 horns, and these beasts too that this guy's talking about, the dragons and everything. Well, this thing right here, this little guy here, this is called SpaceX Dragon. That is a Dragon capsule. It's a conical shaped vehicle with a heat shield for when it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. And here's maybe this will help explain a little bit about what I think. Someone had a good comment up here. It was Rich M, I believe. Where was that? It was about space being a vacuum, I think. If I'm thinking, yeah, right here. I thought it was a vacuum, but then the Earth could not survive in a vacuum. What a good point that makes. Talk about logical, right? The Earth couldn't be in a vacuum because then we wouldn't have air here to breathe, or it would be really thin air, right? Just the science that these people put out. Okay, another thing, I'm just pointing out some contradictions that these aerospace, I should say, just that industry is confused. So they think that it's a vacuum, and they can go out in a spacesuit made with cloth and plastic and things like that. Okay. They also can go underwater with the spacesuit, but that's a whole nother story. But here's another contradiction. When they do a quote-unquote spacewalk, and they go out in their spacesuit into space, do you know what happens when they come back into the space station and they do that? They have to go into an airlock, close that, and then they have to pressurize that, and they can't do it too fast, or because our bodies don't handle that kind of change fast. So they have to slowly pressurize that, and then they can open the airlock into the space station. You know what they all say happens when they do that? There's a very unique, specific smell that smells like a lot of things, but it's burnt things. It smells like burnt steak. It smells like burnt cookies. It smells like spent gunpowder. It smells like brimstone, like a witch has just been there. That's what that was a quote from Chris Hadfield when they asked him what space was like or whatever. Space has a smell, guys. So that's a huge contradiction. They say they smelled this smell in their nostrils. Okay? If they smelled a smell in their nostrils, then space isn't a vacuum, because a vacuum doesn't have any smell. Sorry, I'm like kind of yelling in the mic, but come on, NASA, SpaceX, all you guys think it's just a magic wonderland up there, don't you? It makes no sense, the things that these people are saying. So anyway, I got off on a side thing about the contradictions, but here's something. The vacuum, thank you, by the way, Rich M. And here's another comment that I just saw. If we were hurling through space, the stars would not turn like that. That's such a great point. Thank you, Rich M. Let me talk about that. If we were living on a globe that's traveling around the sun, while the sun is itself traveling through space, whatever you want to call it, okay, that would mean that those stars would have to change throughout time because of the speeds that the Earth is moving. It doesn't matter if they're light years away. They would have to change. Well, here's the interesting thing about the stars. How do we know how long a year is? There's only one way. David Weiss reminded me of it on interview thing that he posted on the app YouTube channel. What's the app called? Sun and Moon, or Flat Earth, Sun and Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, I think. But he has a channel named that. And you know what? I could probably, well, I'll try to get that in the chat later. And there's good videos on there. Well, he did an interview, and he reminded me that today, if we take a picture of the sky, or the stars, I should say, from my house, and we point the camera in the exact same spot a year from now, the stars will be in the same position. They will match. The pictures will match. But every day in between, they won't match. How's that? That's because God made a perfect clock, and it's the sky. So let's read about it in Enoch 71. I don't know if you guys already read some of this while I've been blabbering my mouth. But thank you, Rich M, for the insightful, you got me thinking is what I'm saying. You got me talking. That's good. Okay, we couldn't survive in a vacuum. And I like that too. Werner von Braun. Now here's one thing, I think a little bit of a misconception about Werner von Braun within like the flat earther community. And I'll just say what I know about Werner von Braun. It's nothing more than anybody else knows, but I've heard him talk probably just like everybody else has heard him talk on videos or something, or seen him in Nazi pictures or whatever. But one thing about him is that he was never quiet about saying that God was in the sky. Now, he just didn't understand that maybe it wasn't a good idea to try to reach up to God like that, in that way, or whatever you want to call it. But he would use a certain phrase. He would say, the Maker. Okay? So, on his gravestone, it says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament proclaims his handiwork. I don't think that means that Werner von Braun knew the earth was flat. Sorry, guys. This is a ridiculous thing that people are hiding the shape of the earth. That's not how it goes. Okay? There's planets in the sky that got who started the globe, or in the history that we know or whatever. Who started the globe? Wasn't it like a bunch of guys that were looking up at the stars with their telescopes, coming up with ideas like gravity? Well, what were they looking at? They were looking at the retrograde motion of the planets. That's going to be one of the globe proofs. But they don't understand, and they won't understand because they don't believe in God. They don't understand that that's not the makeup of the heavens. The heavens aren't a physical place that you can put space stations. So of course it's a vacuum, because it's not even a place. And that's one other thing that's interesting. This guy was talking about the beast with the 4 dragons, or whatever he was saying. SpaceX Dragon, this little guy here, I'm going to get him to fly around a little bit more. Yeah, this guy flies. It's a horn, and it waxes great. See, I'm using phrases from Daniel 8. It waxes great, even to the host of heaven. That means something, guys. And I got, I don't know, I got to just comment really quick. You guys, I put a video out today, and it's a pretty quick video, like 6 minutes or something, and I just explained very clearly as I could. And maybe we'll watch that video. But I explained it as clearly as I could that words have meanings, and we can't communicate with each other really by talking or anything like that if we don't understand the specific meanings of the words. And I found that people ignore the meanings of the words in the Bible. And so that's why this dragon, first of all, has been something that has been very important for me to talk about. Because John talked about seeing a dragon flying in the sky right after he saw a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars upon her head. She was up in the heavens, right? And then what do we got? We got this guy. You know who that is? Elon Musk. You guys, this is great signs and wonders. I got to do this since I might have your attention, okay? Let me get one more thing on the screen. I had it on there earlier. I need you guys to understand this, because I only understand this because of what it says in the scriptures. That's okay. Let's look at this. Whoops, I turned it off, I think. Yeah, I turned it off. Okay. This is what Elon thinks he's doing, right? That's the Falcon 9 rocket that lands, okay? He makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And what does it say 2 verses before that? This is something John witnessed. It's an eyewitness testimony. And John says, this is in Revelation 13, John says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. What's on the screen, guys? You see that, right? And it had 2 horns like a lamb. I don't know exactly what that means. It is a 2-stage rocket. But he said, it had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spake as a dragon. Do you guys see that capsule at the very top of the rocket when it comes down here? See that? I can't pause it, but oh, it left dragon up there. See it lifting the dragon up? Now when it comes back down, there's no dragon. It's just the dragon's gone. See? Watch as it goes up again. There's the dragon. So John saw a beast coming up out of the earth, speaking like a dragon, and you know what? I would have to say that we do too right now on the screen. We see something like that. And he doeth great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Don't ignore the prophecies, and don't ignore what the prophets wrote. I mean, it's so important. So important. This wizard guy right here, he's got to go. Do you guys like how I'm playing with these little toys on my screen? Okay, so dragons flying in the firmament. And do you guys want to know what's bad about that? Let's read Enoch chapter 71. I'll just read the whole thing probably. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens. And I saw the holy sons of God. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their raiment and their faces shone like snow. And I saw 2 streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand, and lifted me up, and led me forth into all the secrets. The secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. That's going to be important to remember. Michael's showing him the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of the heaven. The secrets of the ends of the heaven, guys. And all the chambers of all the stars and all the luminaries, whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. So it sounds like all these chambers of stars and luminaries, they kind of go in front of Michael and the archangels. Okay, so there's like a higher. What is it called? A hierarchy? What's that? Let me look up that word. Maybe that's not the right. My vocabulary is really lacking, guys, just so you know. Okay, a system or organization with people or groups are ranked. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, a hierarchy. Okay. So we have, there's authorities, because he's showing him the secrets of the ends of the heaven, and all the chambers of all the stars and all the luminaries, whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. So almost like they're watching them going by or whatever. They're almost like maybe they're in charge of them or something, like what you'd see if a general was watching his army march, or I don't know. Okay, sorry, I was just going to read this anyway. Okay, and he translated my spirit, here's where I am, verse 5. He translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens, and I saw there as it were, wow, I can't read. And I saw there as it were a structure built of crystals. So there was a structure up there in the heavens, guys, built of crystals. And between those crystals, tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house of fire. And on its 4 sides were streams full of living fire, and they girt that house. Hey, I got to add something too. Notice what he says here. And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house. So he's basically letting us know that he's not in his body. This is his spirit seeing these things. Probably similar to what Marcus, that guy we just watched. Because he was obviously in a dream. So he was probably just, his body was where it was and his spirit got translated up. Who knows? In a dream though, we don't really know what the state of a dream is. I mean, do we? No, we don't. Don't let them tell you they do either. It's just electrical pulses happening because of a Big Bang. They're leftover radiation from the Big Bang. That's what dreams are. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Verse 7. And round about were seraphim and cherubim and Ophanim, And these are they who sleep not. Whoops, I just kicked my mic or my headphones out. Sorry, guys. I do that all the time. Okay. These are they who sleep not and guard the throne of his glory. So there's a structure up there with a throne of, it's God's throne. So what can we get from this so far is that his spirit ascended into the heavens. So it went up to the sky, guys. Okay, let me change the screen. We're going to put dragon in back. Later dragon. Okay, and we're going to make this full screen. Because you guys, I'll put the screen with the reading back up there. But I want you guys to have this up here because this is what, I took this photo. Or this video, or whatever you want to call it. I took this with my camera. Those trees on the left, those are the pine trees right next to my driveway. And this tree down at the bottom, that's an oak tree kind of in, like, next to my house. Okay? So the North Star, when I point my camera, the North Star, I point my telescope or my camera there, it's always in the same spot. It doesn't move. It actually moves a very little bit, like almost not at all. You can zoom way in on it and it will stay in the same spot. So, okay, I'll keep reading here. So we were at verse, okay, so he saw the seraphim, cherubim, and Ophanim, and they were guarding the throne. Okay, verse 8. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And that, you guys get what I'm showing you here? How did Enoch know that this is what the sky looks like? How did he know that? Or yeah, Enoch. For a second there I was thinking Ezekiel. No, Enoch, I'm sorry. So it says 1,000 and 10,000 times 10,000 encircling that house. Looks like the sky to me. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. And they came forth from that house, and Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel and many holy angels without number, and with them the head of days, his head white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my spirit was transfigured. And I cried with a loud voice, with the spirit of power, and blessed and glorified and extolled. And these blessings which went forth out of my mouth were well-pleasing before that head of days. And that head of days came, and Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel, thousands and 10,000s of angels without number. And he, i.e. I don't know what that means, came to me, and must be the angel or something, like it's printed wrong, I don't know. Came to me and greeted me with his voice and said unto me, This is the Son of Man who is born unto righteousness. Oh, he's seeing Jesus. Okay, so I can stop there though, yeah. Okay, let me show you something. Let's see. Okay, back here again. I just got rid of those stars, but isn't that cool? Enoch said he went up there and he saw that there was a crystal house that was like all the angels were flying around it in a circle. That's what I believe, you guys. That's what I believe. Okay. But look at in Ezekiel 8. I think the globe is in here, guys. Heliocentrism is in here. That's what it is. Not the globe, but the globe, it could be. It could be this this image. The seat, where is it up here? Yeah. Was the seat of the image of jealousy which provoketh to jealousy. That was in the entry or it says okay. This is New Jerusalem, you guys. To the door of the inner gate that looked toward the north, where okay, that's where it was. But look at this. Verse 14, I think. Oh yeah. women weeping for Tammuz. So he's showing him abominations that are happening in Jerusalem. And this is New Jerusalem. This is... I better get those stars back up on here. Okay. I gotta find them though. I don't know where they are. But like, I want people to understand this, that there's a reason why Ezekiel went up to this place, or why God, or I'm sorry, not Ezekiel. I keep saying Ezekiel or Enoch. Okay, that's not the right one. This one, I think. No? I can't tell. Oh yeah, okay. Now let's do this. Let's send this to the back. Okay, now we got dragon. Whoops, wrong one. I don't know if I'll be able to do what I'm trying to do. Okay, I guess I can. Okay. John saw this, you guys. In Revelation 12. John saw this. I'm just saying it's time for people to wake up. People are saying space, I've heard a lot of people say to me, this is 5 years I've been saying this, you guys. Or no, maybe 4 years. I don't know. 4 years. 2006, like the end of 2016 probably. Whatever, however long that is, I don't know. I think I put a video out, and I could look back, but it would take forever the way YouTube is now. I put a video out about Elon Musk and SpaceX Dragon. Probably at the end of probably in November or December of 2016. I've been saying this for a long time because God showed it to me. It's in the Bible. It's written on the pages, you guys. So this dragon is flying around up here. John saw... Let me show you what else John saw. John saw this up there. Remember, he saw a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars upon her head, and she was ready to give birth. And then, what did John see right after that? He saw a dragon waiting to devour her child. Wake up. Wake up, guys. Wake up. People still looking at things on the earth like it's part of, like it's something down here. It's not down here. It's up there. And then if you actually look up there, you'll see tons of Starlink satellites. God showed that to Ezekiel, you guys. It's the chapter before this, in chapter 7. Okay. I want people to understand this story. That's in Revelation 12 where there's war in heaven. We're getting rid of all the toys now. Okay. So, verse 16 here. This is where God was showing him abominations, and he said, the verse previous in 15, he said, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. So he's showing him these abominations. And he brought me in to the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord. But you guys, they were between the porch and the altar. 25 men. This is in New Jerusalem. Remember, the Gentiles will tread New Jerusalem underfoot for 42 months or something in Revelation 11. And Daniel 8, the sanctuary will be tread underfoot. Enoch 56. They shall tread underfoot the land of his elect ones. And the city of his righteous ones shall become for them a threshing floor and a highway. That's in Enoch 56. Okay, this is in the Bible that men climb up to New Jerusalem and dirty it with their feet, okay, at the very end. And how long have we been going to space, guys? It's not a good idea. Okay, but this is about something else. These men were up there, but they weren't even facing the temple. So they were up between the porch and the altar, and they weren't facing the temple. It says, and they had their backs toward the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east. And they worshiped the sun toward the east. Here's your heliocentric model right here. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Okay, so, but this is also where he says they've done all these things, the abominations that they commit here. And then it says, therefore will I also deal in fury, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet I will not hear them. That's not the first time he says that, guys. That's like Ezekiel 7. Let me just read a few verses. Verse 21, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I also turn from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. Do you guys understand what that's saying? Remember, Jesus prepared a place for us. His Father's house has many mansions or something. Well, there's like, what's it called when someone stays at someone's house when they're gone and nobody knows, and they, without permission? It's like, I can't remember. There's a name for it. But they're doing that up there, okay? Because those houses are, this is also in Ezra. I will give your houses to, yeah. Okay, let me just keep reading. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. So it's the worst of them, guys. And they shall possess their houses. I will make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh. They shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor, and they shall seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients. The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them, and shall know that I am the Lord. Well, this is for putting abominations. Let's read verse 9. And mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways, and thine abomination. Now listen, that are in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord that smiteth. So, how does this start? This starts by him saying, an end, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. I'll show you the abominations that he's talking about. I can even show you my own footage of them, but I'm not going to, because it would take too long and I'd lose focus of what we're doing here. So yeah, Austin Witsit, you guys go subscribe to his channel. That he's got some awesome insight. Here we are. This is Starlink satellites. I made this here. But so Ezekiel saw heliocentric stuff. They were facing the sun, but they were up in the temple of God, and he's going to recompense upon thee all thine abominations. So let's see what I'm talking about, or see if, let's see, I think it's 16. It's got to be last verse, I think. Yeah. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed God because of the plague of hail. for the plague thereof was exceeding great. It's getting more exceeding great each time they launch 60 Starlink satellites. This is why I really wish that the flat earthers would see that this is not all fake. It's not being faked. We're being deceived, or not us. I'm saying this world is being deceived by devils in the sky. Devils, not people. Devils, and they look like they take the form of planets, and let's go look at it. It's in Enoch chapter 19. It says the forms that they take or whatever. Or it says they take many forms or something like that. Oops. Oh, you guys, I'm covering up the Google from you. Here, hold on. Sorry. Okay, Enoch 19. And Uriel said to me, here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment. Okay, let's go back to the previous chapter. Where was Enoch? He was in space. Because there were 7 planets there. 7 wandering stars there that didn't obey God. And guess what it was? This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. So there's a prison for the stars in the firmament, because that's where God put the stars. And it happens to be 7 of them that disobeyed God and are taking, what did it say? Assuming many different forms. So these are also the fallen angels from Genesis 6 that came down and took wives. They're in the firmament, in darkness. And actually, I can show you video of that, because NASA, this is just, most flat earthers don't agree with me here, but I know that I'm not, this is not my idea. These are scriptures we are reading together. I'm going to show you something. Where is it? I don't even know where I can find it. Okay, so this place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And you know how there's dragons and stuff. And in Revelation 13, the dragon gives the beast his power, seat, and great authority. Well, SpaceX Dragon gives the space station its resupply contract. I should just show you that. So yeah, anyway, the angels are there. Fallen angels. I don't know where that video is. I probably have something. You guys might have seen it. It was in 1996. I think they filmed these things with an infrared camera, maybe. It was on top of the shuttle, and they broke something, and it was, as it was floating away from them, there's all these things that kind of swarmed it. Do you guys want to see that footage? I gotta go to the chat and see if I can see the chat. My computer's really slow. Here's one other thing that we can learn from this. Okay, this prison. Let me just show you this. Let me just show you this. Let's remember this word right here, or this phrase. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. Okay, what are the stars? They're angels, right? They're angels, and God knows all their names. Now, there's a prison for the stars. Okay, Davey313, thank you. And Isaac and Real Bible Life. That's cool, you guys are here, thank you. Let's see. Revelation 18. There's all these mysteries being revealed. So we're gonna go back. While that's, I don't know what's happening. My computer's really slow or something. Okay, I just want to show you something here in Revelation 18. I mean, Enoch chapter 18. I'm sorry. Okay, where is this? He saw a deep abyss. Okay, remember this Marcus guy saw a deep abyss? Or he saw, whatever he saw, what did he say? A pit. He called it a pit. It's space, guys. Space. What we call space is hell. And there's 7 planets there. But here's what I want to show you. Hopefully this is opening now. Or did I not hit enter? Oh, there we go. It got there. Okay, I'm going to show you something very interesting. I found this prison in the Bible. Which one was it? Okay. Whoops. Okay. It's not me saying, this is Uriel saying this. The angel said, this place is the end of heaven and earth. That's the firmament, guys. This has become, look at the wording here. I want this phrase right here. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. It says that in Revelation 18, Babylon the Great, you guys. He hears an angel, he sees an angel come down from heaven and having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Look at. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. Let's do this. Let's look at the Greek. Because I just wanted... Or what verse was that? Was that 3? Or it was 2? Whoa! Wrong button. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. I screwed it all up. I could have just hit the next button. Okay, and he cried out in a mighty voice, saying, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, and she has become a habitation of demons. So don't say Babylon's anywhere on the earth, guys. It is not in this realm we live in. That is not where Babylon is. It is a spirit place. It's a place where spirits live. It's the sky, guys. Okay? She has become a habitation of demons and a prison of every spirit unclean, and a prison of every bird unclean. Do you guys see why I like to look at the Greek, the words that, like all these words, this here, I can't read the Greek, but all these words, these numbers for Strong's, these words are the words that were written down. And we look at this. A prison of every bird unclean, and a prison of every creature unclean, and having been hated. Okay, it's a spiritual place. And it's actually the place where NASA thinks they go. Which, if you think about it, it's all in Revelation. It's all in Revelation. Let's just go back to Revelation 18. This is the chapter right here. I don't know why I just did that. I'm a little bit slow here. Let's just go to the KJV. Okay. I just think it's so important that people start to realize, what am I doing? Wrong chapter. Oh yeah, since we're here, and I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Okay, you know how the 144,000 children of Israel, everyone always says, they're male Jews, or what do they say? Virgins. They're male virgins. Okay, let's realize that there's a story in Revelation, and there's fornication in this story. Okay? But listen to what Jesus says here to the church of Thyatira in verse 22. Behold, I will cast her into a bed and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. So he's like setting up a test. He's putting a temptation there, I guess. Like, I'm not saying he's trying to trap us or something, but this is just what Jesus said. Behold, I will cast her into a bed. And he's not, I don't think he's talking about an actual woman, you guys. He's not actually going to put a woman in a bed and see if you commit adultery. That's not what this is. This fornication is a different fornication. So it's fornication with Babylon, which is a city. We got to go to Revelation 17. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. It's space. Let me read Revelation 18. And remember that it's waters. There's a great sea up there. There's a great sea up in the sky. That's where the stars are, and that's where there's waters above. So you guys, if there was ships in the sea up above, what would they be called? They'd be like rockets, right? Or spaceships or space stations, right? Well, just I'm gonna read this whole chapter, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna. And just keep in mind space exploration, the cost of it, and tell me what you think when I'm done, or while I'm reading, or whatever, and I will check the chat when I'm done reading. Okay, you guys can see that on the screen. Okay, cool. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Oh, I gotta make a comment. Bronwyn, has nothing to do with anything down here. It's all having to do with up in the sky. So it's not like there's no the Catholic Church would be deceived. That's what it would be. They're not deceiving people. They are the ones that are deceived. Or people would say the Jesuits are deceiving people. No, wrong, guys. They are deceived. Okay? All of us were deceived. And so all this evil happens. And then you have all these, I mean, think of the world. There's so many different things going on at once. Sorry, I cut in the middle of this. But I just wanted to say that because a lot of people talk about 501c, whatever, the churches, as if that matters. Has nothing to do with the church, has nothing to do with the building, has nothing to do with the taxes they pay. It has to do with a person's heart. And this is all to individual people. To you and to me. Like these words, to understand this stuff is for you to understand. It's for me to understand individually. Do you know what I mean? But we do it together. We understand it. We try to understand it together. See, but nobody's deceived by the Pope. Is anyone in this chat deceived by the Pope, Rich? Question. Because no one's deceived by the Pope. I would say the Pope would be deceived and he's teaching other people what he believes or whatever. Isaac and Yeshua's got it. Paul told us, didn't he? Principalities, not flesh. And you know what, Isaac? Let me show you something about that maybe you guys haven't considered in this way yet. Let's look at Ephesians 6:12 in the Greek, because it's crazy and it says a different thing than it did to me before. I want Bible Hub. When I looked in the Greek, I was like, oh wow, that's just different than I understood it to be. So it tells us who we struggle against. Oops, I gotta hit the Greek button, I guess. Okay, let's go to 6:12, and let's just read it. I would just read it in the order that they have it here. The order is always messed up because I think they do the best they can, though. Or they just put these words in the best order that it makes sense. Okay, because not is to us the wrestling against blood and flesh, but against the authorities, against the cosmic powers. You guys know what that is, right? We'll look at that. Let's look at that word, cosmic powers. It's a cosmocrator, a ruler of this world. Okay, that's the definition. And let's go down to Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. It just says ruler, a world ruler, an epithet of Satan, ruler. Okay, but we'll find out what it says about the cosmic powers here. Oh, I gotta hit the back button. Okay, so we're not struggling against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against authorities, against the cosmic powers of the darkness. Cosmic powers of the darkness. Where's the darkness, guys? I'll tell you where it is, and I know you know I'll tell you where it is. Where's the darkness? I'll show you where it is if I can. Let me go to my program and try to pull it up. Well, here's a hint. These guys go to the darkness. Where is it? It didn't show up. They go to the darkness. Okay? They're one of the rulers of the darkness, right? The cosmic powers of the darkness. Well, if you ask the world, yeah. Space is darkness. I'll see if I can get the astronauts to tell you that, or to tell you about it. I think I can get that somehow. I'm going to do that really quick. Oh yeah, it's probably in this video. Maybe, I don't know. I got the sound off. Let's see here. We're just gonna skip through the video a little bit.
Be out there among. And I think the future of that is the future between.
That's the wrong video. Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, listen to this.
So how does it feel to ride in a dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9?
Yeah, wow. I tell you, I don't know if there's words really to properly describe what that felt like. You talk about sitting on a dragon on top of the beast, and it definitely was. You knew you were going somewhere. And this one was a little bit longer, so we actually had to live in dragon for quite a while.
Ride in a dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth.
Okay, I'm not going to just keep playing it, but that's crazy stuff. This is straight out of the Bible. But the rulers of the darkness of this world, well, let's keep reading this. Okay, I'm going to get that off the screen. We go back to desktop. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're struggling against the authorities and the rulers and the cosmic powers of the darkness. This against the spiritual forces. What does that mean? Let's look at that word. Whatever that word is, I'm not going to try to say it. Spiritual. Spiritual. So, let's look at Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Spiritual. Non-carnal. A spirit. Supernatural. Did you guys get the drift there? So exactly what Isaac said. Isaac, where was that? Oh, I gotta find it. I don't know where it went. I'm a little slow here, sorry guys. But yeah, Isaac said, principalities, not flesh. That's exactly what we're struggling against. So that's why when I'm saying, no, NASA's not faking space. I used to believe they were. But Paul who Jesus chose to be as a chosen vessel to preach the gospel. Paul told me that, and we just went over it. We'll look at just the regular verse here. But look what it says. The spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms, in the heavens, in the sky. And darkness happens to be in the sky too. So this says heavenly, or of heaven is the definition. And if we look at Strong's, celestial, heavenly, high, above the sky, celestial, in heaven. So very important to understand where heaven is. It's upstairs above us in the sky. Let's see here. Well, Rich says, I mean, seriously, how stupid do they think people are? Well, I guess pretty stupid. But I think it's even, people have such of this kind of pride that we shouldn't have. I've had it my whole life. This confidence in that, and that's from Satan. That's what it is. That's why people are doing, we're not supposed to live the way that we're living. And I'm not saying all of us are, I'm not trying to like speak for everyone. I'm saying as a world, we're not living as the way we're supposed to be living. They think God has left his sanctuary. And so that every country, people talk about one world order. That's old, man. That started in about like 1970 something when all these countries went together in one effort to lift a shout up against God with something like, I think they started with like Mir, the Russian, or would that be the Soviet Union? Probably would have been the Soviet Union. I don't remember. I don't know. The space station. The idea of a space station. That's when the one world order started. Because it's not about having power over people here, like people having power. It's not at all about that. I'm trying to think of examples that people kind of say commonly that I see as being false. And I'm not saying these people are trying to be false. I'm saying they're still believing a lie. And it showed me what Isaac in Yeshua commented. It shows me that he believes what I believe. And it is something different. And it actually makes, I guess the way I look at it is, why do you keep believing that men are fooling you? Don't do that. The one world order is everybody in the world being deceived and worshiping false gods. And that's what the planets are. See, Beck from Oz, I totally disagree 100%. And so does Paul. And so does Jesus. She says, Joe, as much as you know I love you, brother, these Luciferians know exactly what they are doing. The red shoes, that's a color of shoes. Now, I'm not trying to like be negative. I'm just saying, what did we just study? We just studied Ephesians 6:12, and it says we're not struggling against the red shoes. We're not struggling against the Luciferians that know exactly what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Exactly. Isaac and Yeshua is, I think, very similar thinking to me. I can just tell. But Beck, the reason why they do the things they do is because of all the things that the fallen angels are teaching them. Do you know what I mean? And you know I love you too, by the way, Beck. And all you guys. Angels, eyesight says principality. First in importance, angels, including fallen angels, are assigned domains or areas. Yes. The prince of the air, prince first, overseer, like watchers, air equals lower atmosphere. Now that old serpent was cast down to earth. Now, yes, exactly. Now that old serpent was cast down to earth. You want me to show you a video of that too? SpaceX Dragon re-entering into Earth's atmosphere. Jesus saw it. And he said, I beheld Satan fall from heaven like lightning. It's amazing. But, so Beck, I'm not trying to say I'm right. I'm trying to say, consider, because I guess, how am I going to come on to YouTube? And I know there's a lot of people that really disagree with what I'm saying. And they're like, nope, I know that's wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, this is what the scriptures are saying. This is why I believe it. I don't believe it because it makes sense to me. They know sin. Yeah, I can agree with that. But, I'm trying to think of examples that are good examples. I guess one would be the space station. A lot of people are like, well, it's impossible for a space station to move that fast. And I'm like, on Earth, maybe. They're not on Earth. They left. They found a way to leave. And it was actually, I think, just God creating some strong delusion so that they believed the lie. Because look, I mean, yeah. The occult, Blake says, you forget the occult communicates with demons. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the end times destruction of the earth. That's all coming. I know what you're talking about, the spirits of the Nephilim, right? The spirits of the giants. They dwell on the earth here. But see, Beck, no, I disagree. Beck says a lot of them are hoodwinked, but not those at the top. Why would you think that? There are no them at the top. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it clearly says this in this that we were just looking at. Ephesians 6:12. There's a reason why Paul said that. We're fighting against, or we're struggling against the cosmic powers of the darkness. So then when Enoch goes to that darkness, he goes beyond that abyss. He saw a place which had no firmament of heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. I saw there 7 stars. He's talking about the night sky. I've heard a bunch of stories about who cares about the Roman Catholics and their shoes, Beck? I'm trying to say those are just people. Deceived people. Blake, I remember your testimony that you kind of shared in the chat one time. You got a powerful testimony. He says, Blake says, I used to hang with witches. No, I don't deny any of that, Blake. I was actually just talking to basically my best friend, was over for a little bit today, and he was talking about, we were having a conversation just about that, about like I don't know if they call them mediums or psychics or whatever, and they call it the other side, and they can contact people or whatever. And I think that's all just bad news, but okay, I gotta read what Isaac in Yeshua said to Beck. Are those who have earthly power know God? Do they know his creation? Or do they believe what they say, not knowing what they do because they are spiritually being duped? No, Beck, don't apologize. I'm what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get, like I had Nathan Thompson on last night, and I love that guy, you know that. He's awesome. But he's going to tell you that there's some secret kings some people that are faking space. This is what he's going to believe for probably a long time. And I'm not saying it's not really a problem to believe that. But I do know there's a reason why why Paul here is teaching us that there's something else that we're struggling against. And then Enoch verifies all of that. I mean, we just read chapter 19. Enoch says, this is what defiles mankind is the angels. And they're up in where there's 7 planets. That's where they are. Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women. So it's like, oh, there's all those angels that were buried in the earth. Now they're up there. So that's scary. I didn't know that Bronwyn, and that could be, I guess, I don't know. Oh yeah, real Bible, real life, I've considered that too. Says, just another thought, what if they aren't human? Genesis 6 type situation. In that case, they are not deceived, they are just wicked. Yeah, that's a good point. I've thought about that. And there's actually a verse, I don't remember exactly where. No, it's in Enoch 17. Let's go there. That says they take the form of men whenever they want. Right here. So he's going to earth and Sheol. Okay. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they appeared as men. How many astronauts have there been? 500 and... Let's look it up. Let's just look it up to be diligent, searching diligently, right? How many people, have been, in space? 553 people, guys. So if there was 553 angels, or half of that, and the angels went twice, or whatever you want, like, that's a very good point. Real Bible, real life. See, what we're dealing with here is not people. So if these 553 were these guys, where were we? Were these guys? They appeared as men. Okay? That's a plausible, in my, like, just what I'm thinking is that could make sense. Would make a lot of sense. That they have whatever they do. But here's the other thing. There's been some other things that kind of go against that in my, like, in the back of my mind. I can't really remember why or what they are right now. But I can't, so I'm not really saying anything against it. But look at this. And they brought me to the place of darkness, and to the mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries, the treasuries of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths. Space is hell, guys. And it's Babylon too. That's what's scary. Like, I'm gonna be working on a video. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna end this stream somewhat soon, but we're gonna watch a video first. And I was gonna show you one other thing. Remember, he was, oh, look at that. He named the video that 143. He named the video that. That's weird, because I was gonna show you something. He was in Isaiah. Remember, he was reading Isaiah 43, and he was reading the part where it said, "Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them." And it calls them witnesses. And then God says, "These are my," or "Ye are my witnesses," or whatever. Well, Isaiah, 48 tells us what former things are. And it's amazing what it is, you guys. It's the 6-day creation. Isaiah 48 verse 3 says, "I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth. I showed them, I did them suddenly, and they came to pass." That's awesome. That's the other thing I was going to show you about Isaiah. So that's a prophecy we'll go to Isaiah 43 just so I can show you what I mean. It's a prophecy that at the end, that it would be preached. Look what it says right in verse 9. Let the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this, and show us former things? I think people in my chat could declare former things. They've studied them for 5 years. Right, guys? I'm just saying. And then it says, let them bring forth their witnesses. Who bears witness to the truth? That didn't before. Like, I'm just saying, I went 37, 38 years. And then now for 5 years I've seen the truth. Because I was believing a lie my whole life. So I believe I'm a witness. And then look at, it says, bring forth their witnesses that they may be justified, or let them hear and say it is truth. So if you see the truth, I think it means say the truth. Tell people. Yeah, that's a good point, Real Bible, Real Life. Could be these astronauts are not even people. They could just be taking the form of men. That's crazy stuff to think about. So, where were we here? There's Austin's feed again. Look at that, there's still 17 people watching. I'm one of them. Whoops. Okay, so where were we? Oh, I'm going to play a video. Bible says flat earth. I just wanted to restate that, so I made a video. I got to find out how to get there. I uploaded it today, I think, or well, I guess that would be yesterday technically. Here anyway, it's 12:36 a.m. So let's see, video. I gotta just find it, put it in there. And I just wanted to show you a couple videos. This is only like 6 minutes long. But I have another one to play after this that kind of goes with it a little bit. If I can find it while this one plays. Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah, I said Bible says flat earth. There we are. Okay. So in this video, I wanted to share with you that if I go to my YouTube, let me just show you something. Let me show you something before we watch the video. So if I just go here and go to, how do I do? I'm just going to go to my videos and just show you which video. I want you guys to see a comment on the channel, and I want you guys to see the blindness that some people display on their own. And they come to my channel and you know, display their blindness, and then I try to comment right, but I'll show you guys what it was. Let's see here. Let's go. I don't want to show everybody's comments. We'll just go to the video. I think it's this video, so and then sometimes they get deleted after I comment back, and it looks like that might have happened here. He might have deleted his own comment. Yeah. Maybe I can show you. How else could I do it? Oh, if I go here, I can show you. Go to my notifications. Let's see. Right here. See, he deleted his comment, I think. Because I didn't delete it. I actually replied to it. We'll just click on it once. Okay, maybe it's still there and I just didn't see it. So he says, now I'm not trying to pick on Ed Haynes. I'm just showing something. And maybe Ed Haynes will even watch, because I want to show him something. Please explain why your own personal interpretation of the scriptures are so different than that of over 2 billion other Christians who know this planet is not flat. Why should your own look at this, the second time he's using this, own personal interpretations of the scriptures be accepted, blah, blah, blah. And then he asks another question. If a person's personal interpretations of the scriptures do not match what is observed in reality, well, Ed Haynes, that's where faith comes in. Do you believe what your science teacher told you, or do you believe what the Bible says? Because you say is observed in reality, and you're saying globe? You're saying this is a planet? Well, planets, if the Earth is a planet, it's rotating, right? Well, the Bible says it's still and that it shall not be moved. The scriptures are not wrong. Look at the floor, it doesn't move. Notice? So, yeah, I observe in reality what the scriptures say. And here's the point that I'm making. Here's my reply to him. You didn't understand the point of the video. Do you know what a valley is? A mountain, a hill? How do you interpret these words to mean something other than what they actually mean? These words don't have two meanings for you to choose from. Please watch the video again and study the words with me. These are not difficult to understand. Thank you. Now, the reason why I comment like that, and let me take a drink of water here. He doesn't understand. Now we're going to watch that video and you guys will see this is the video he commented all this personal interpretation stuff about. In order to communicate, we all use words. Every word we use to communicate something has a specific meaning. Putting these words together to make a sentence is how we communicate an idea or a question or make a statement. If each word in the sentence doesn't have a specific meaning, there won't be any concrete way that we can communicate using words. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because we need to know how to comprehend what someone is trying to communicate with their words. And we can only do this by knowing the meanings of those words. The Bible is made up of words put together into sentences or verses, paragraphs, chapters, and books. We can comprehend what is being communicated by the authors by knowing the specific meanings of the words that they wrote. In other words, we should never change or discount the specific meanings of the words being used to make up a verse or a chapter. Valleys, mountains, and hills. These three words have specific meanings. A valley is an elongated low area, often running between hills or mountains, which will typically contain a river or a stream running from one end to the other. A mountain is an elevated portion of the earth, generally with steep sides that show significant exposed bedrock. A mountain differs from a plateau in having a limited summit area, and is larger than a hill, typically rising at least 300 meters above the surrounding land. A hill is a landform that extends above the surrounding terrain. It often has a distinct summit. Notice that all three of these words, valleys, mountains, and hills, specifically describe geographical characteristics of the surface of the earth. They all describe the shape of the ground. They are all terrain types, which are natural geographical features. Types of landforms include mountains, hills, plateaus, plains, buttes, canyons, valleys, and basins. Now, in order to comprehend what is written in Isaiah chapter 40, verses 4 through 5, we need to know the specific meanings of the words valleys, mountains, and hills. Isaiah 40, verses 4 through 5. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain, and the glory of... Sorry guys, I'll replay that a little bit. When it's skipping like that, that's just because I was trying to do a few things, but I closed a bunch of pages, so it should be working a lot smoother. I'll just go back a little bit, sorry. Valleys, mountains, and hills. Isaiah 40, verses 4 through 5. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places it's plain. doing it again. Sorry, guys. And the glory. It's doing it again. I'll have to just. I was trying to get the next video ready, where I actually went out and dug a hole and played in the dirt to show this verse or these verses, and I'm gonna play that. I did it like 2 years ago, but we'll probably have to watch the video on YouTube on my channel, so I'm just gonna have to wait till we're through this video. There's only like 3 minutes left or so, or 4 minutes left. Chapter 40 verses 4 through 5. We need to know the specific meanings of the words valleys, mountains, and hills. Isaiah 40 verses 4 through 5. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So that's Isaiah 40 verses 4 through 5. It's talking about valleys, mountains, and hills, and crooked things, and rough places, and it's saying they're going to be changed. This verse is quoted by John the Baptist in Luke chapter 3 verses 5 through 6, and it's worded slightly differently. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God. So in Isaiah 40 verse 4, it says, every valley shall be exalted. And that word in the Hebrew is nasa, or nasa. And the definition is to lift, carry, or take. So if we pay attention to the meanings of the words, valleys being exalted means low terrain being lifted. Then it says that every mountain and hill shall be made low. So the elevated geographical characteristics will be made low. That terrain will be made low. So we're going to see the valleys being exalted or lifted, and we're going to see the high parts, the elevated parts, becoming low, being made low. And I have to argue that this is literally and specifically a prophecy of what we are experiencing in the last 5 years. So if you are looking for a place in the Bible that says the earth is flat, these two passages are just two of them, and they are not saying earth is flat. What they are saying is it will become flat. So it's a prophecy, a foretold prophecy. And we are living in the time when it's coming to pass. So that's pretty special if you ask me. So the Bible says flat earth in 2021. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.
I get that a lot. NASA live. We don't live on a spinning ball. Earth is flat.
Alright, so a couple things. I have another video coming up that we're going to watch on YouTube, but I don't want to ruin all your fun in the chat, but do you guys want to study the word planet with me really quick? It's an interesting little study. Let me open up a page here. Whoops. I gotta right click it, I guess. Google Chrome. Whoops, sorry. Or yeah, you guys probably can't see that. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me get this page up and let me get you guys over there. You'll like this. The word planet's an interesting word for sure. Desktop. Okay. Let's go to 1 John. You guys will like this. 2 at Bible Hub. I already typed it all the way in, and it's still, or maybe I guess I should have clicked that. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, we're gonna go here, and John. Okay, we're gonna find the word planet here. you guys will be like, what? Where the word planet comes from is well, it just goes along with this whole story quite nicely. Let's look at in the Greek. Let's look at verse, or I guess we'll have to go to the Greek first, and then we'll go to verse 26. 1 John 2:26, I think. Oh wow, my computer's slow. Okay, this is the one where he says, "These things I have written to you concerning them who seduce you." In the KJV. I should have looked at that first, but we'll look at it after. Okay, but look what it says. "These things I have written to you concerning those leading astray you." 4105. Leading astray. Okay, let's look at that word. Leading astray. Planeo. Okay. Planeo. 4105. Definition. To cause to wander. To wander. Lead astray, deceive, cause to wander. Now look what Helps says. 4105. Planeo. Properly go astray, get off course, to deviate from the correct path. So, in other words, like to go astray. Circuit, course, roaming into error. Wandering, be passive, be misled. Now look what it says. 4105. Planeo is the root of the English term planet. Wandering body. So there you go. A planet caused to wander, to lead astray, to cause it roam into error. This term nearly always conveys the sin of roaming. And we'll see what Strong's Exhaustive Concordance says. Deceive, err, seduce, wander. So John, or the King James Version, used the word seduce for this in this verse. But that's what planet is, guys. Seduce, to basically deceive, to cause to roam from safety, truth, or virtue. I didn't ever see that before. But yeah, you're right. Look at it. It says from plane. That's where the word comes from, plane. And that also is interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So planets are bad. Okay. All right. So then this video, we're gonna have to search it out. Or we're gonna have to go to my channel. I don't know where it is on my computer, and obviously my computer won't let me look while I'm watching another video. I think I think my computer is like maxed out for RAM or whatever. I'm doing all this from a laptop. Everything that I do is always done from a laptop. So all the CGI fun I have, that's all on my laptop. And so it really pushes it to the limit, I think. Midnight Ride, I'm going to have to catch that. I didn't catch them tonight, but I usually do. Let's see here. We got to search for it. I want to say, what did I call it? I don't even know what I called it, you guys. This might take a second to find it. Oh, salvation. That word will get us there. Yeah, right here. You guys might not like the title of this, but to be honest, I guess I don't care. I'm not trying to offend you, but I don't care. Flat Earth is the salvation of God being revealed. That's what it, we actually just studied that in that video that we just watched. That's what it said in Luke 3 verses 5 and 6. We'll watch this, but okay, hold on a second. I just want to go over that really quick. Why did I title this Flat Earth is the Salvation of God? It's mostly because of, I guess I didn't put it there. I wrote, this is a long time ago, I think. Or, well, must be a re-upload. So I uploaded this about a year ago. So it must have been a couple years old. The other one I seen. Let's see here. Where's the old one? I named it something else, I guess. Hey, D.R. Lee. Yeah. I had him on a long time ago. That was cool. Okay. Luke 3 verses 5 and 6 says every valley. Well, I'll go over to, yeah, I'll let this video just go on its own there. We're going to see if the quality can, no, I guess it's just 720. Okay. Full screen. And then here we go. Got my shovel with. Making a video here that I thought of making because of a lack of understanding that I'm seeing just in simple words. Comprehension of simple words. So I'm gonna dig a hole. Hey Bobby. That's my cat Bobby. He doesn't have a tail. He got too close to one of these one time. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'm gonna dig a hole and just watch me dig a hole for a minute. Actually, I'm gonna pause this. John the Baptist quoted Isaiah when they asked who he was, and he said, the voice of one that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight a desert, or in the desert a highway for our God. And then that's repeated in the Gospels and in Luke, and in John, and I'm not sure, but in Isaiah 40 verse 3 is what John the Baptist quoted, and I think he quoted more because in Luke it continues on with verse 4 and 5, but in Luke it's actually 3 verses 4, 5, and 6 instead of in Isaiah they're 3, 4, and 5. So I'll just go back to Isaiah verse 40. Isaiah 40 verse 4 says, every valley shall be lifted or exalted, and every mountain and hill made low, and the crooked will be made straight, and rough places will be made plain, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. Something like that. I'm not reading it, that's a paraphrase, or pretty close though. So here's what I want to demonstrate for you guys. Okay, there's the hole I dug. Let's get a good close-up of it. Okay, on the right side, we have a, you know what, I need to get this camera lower. I gotta take it off of here, just so you guys can't even hardly see my mountain. I should have dug a bigger hole. Okay, we have mountain on the left and valley on the right. Okay. Hi Bobby. Okay, I'm putting this back on the stand, so it's gonna be a little bit higher. Maybe down. See, that's what happens when I plan to make a video. I kind of just wing it. Okay, this is like a valley. You drive your car down in there or whatever and come back out. Drive right back out. Same thing with the mountain. Drive your car right up the side of the mountain, or you can climb the mountain, or you can ski down the mountain if there's snow. Okay, we all know what that is. So let's go to Luke chapter 3. It says the same thing as Isaiah. So let's just listen to what that says. I should have brought my Bible out, but it's the same verse. Every valley shall be exalted. Exalted means lifted. So if we're going to lift this valley up to about there, they'll be filled. The valleys will be filled, actually, I think is what it says in Luke. And the mountains and the hills, let's just make a hill. Okay, There's our hill right there. Okay, the mountain, every mountain and hill will be made low. Well, I'm just gonna do the convenient thing here because it's only convenient, but if we fill that valley, at the same time we're actually, we're multitasking. We're filling the valley and we're making the mountain and the hill, the mountains and the hills, every mountain and hill low, right? Filling my hole here, filling that valley, exalt that valley. I'm not trying to blaspheme God here, okay? That's not the point. I'm only trying to demonstrate what it would be, what we would be left with if we... Okay, so we got the mountains are low, and now the valley is filled in. What are we left with, guys? Because this is what we're left with right here. Luke says, the Gospel of Luke says, it's the salvation of God. And Isaiah said, it is the glory of God being revealed. And all flesh shall see it together. Not a grave. It just makes me think of a grave because I just dug a hole. But I hope that you guys, this was the mouth of the Lord that spoke this. Sorry, you're riding back with me. I got you on a goofy thing. I'll try to get you pointed. Okay, hopefully you can see me now. Oh. The mouth of the Lord had spoken it, not me. I just dug a hole to show you what it meant, or what it said, because words have meanings. Simple words have even simple meanings. So, I think it says not to add anything to the prophecies in the book. That would be a prophecy in the book when the Lord says every valley shall be exalted, every mountain and hill shall be made low, the crooked will be made straight, and rough places made smooth, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. Alrighty. So do you guys see why I get frustrated? Or not frustrated, I shouldn't say that. I get, whoops, I'm not doing the right thing here. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay. When I get comments like those, like, what is this, your personal interpretation? I'm like, do you know what the word valley means? It has a meaning, a very clear meaning. It's actually part of what we would call the shape of the earth. Same with mountains and hills. And yeah, it's a prophecy. So, let's see here. What was I? Yeah, it was this guy, Ed Haynes. Please explain why your own... Okay, this is not my own personal interpretation of the scriptures at all. So you just didn't watch the video, Ed. You just saw the title and then added your comments. Watch the video, Ed, please. That would be nice. So there was one other thing that I was going to do, and I can't remember what it was now. Let's see. Maybe it was over here. Well, me and Nathan were chatting with the with the scientist guy. I can't even think of his name. Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson. That was fun last night with Nathan. We did. I always have fun with my little CGI stuff. Let's see what else we got. I did the YouTube one. I did the Effed Up World logo one. And I did the NASA Nope Flat one. I think that one there was going for a while. We got Bill Nye trying to kiss me. Get out of here, Bill. Ew. It's gross. What's this one here? Oh, globe head. I'm just having some fun. But what was I going to show you guys? There was something I was going to show you. So it's not at all a personal interpretation, guys. Maybe we should watch this. Yeah, we probably should.
Had no firmament of the heaven above.
I'm going to start it over.
Beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it, and there was no water upon it, and no birds. But it was a waste and horrible place. I saw there 7 stars, like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them, and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years. And Uriel said to me, Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made an end of. I saw there 7 stars, like great burning mountains.
Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords, and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, and chosen, and faithful.
And he saith unto me,
The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast.
Oops, sorry guys. That wasn't even really me that time. We'll go back to here.
Hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
This is not a theory. This is not a guess. This is scripture. Enoch was shown the heavens, and he was shown the prison where there was 7 stars. Alright, we heard enough of that guy. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to say the same things that I said already in this stream, but I did grab another video. And this one, I grabbed 2 more videos. We're going to finish with one that's super funny. Or, well, not super funny, but it's funny. But before we do that one, I have... Where is it? I just have to find it. It's hard to find when I have too many videos in the folder, the playing folder or whatever. Let's see. Oh, where is it? Okay, let me try to grab it again. I don't know what just happened. It's about the beast. It's only 3 minutes long, but you got to hear what the space station people are saying. Where is this one? Bible says flat earth. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to take forever to do this, but it actually, I think it gives me a different thumbnail. It does. I can't remember what it was called now. I just said it too. Oh, it was down at the bottom. Okay, hold on. It's called WMV. Sorry guys. Okay, I just gotta hit a different view. I can't find it when it's in there. WMV. Oh, there it is. There it is. I found it.
This is the only place that humans have outside of planet Earth where humans can live. And if you like, down there on Earth, you can actually see it with your naked eye. You just go to the ISS website and it tells you when to see us. You can look up in the sky and you will see this bright little star moving over the sky.
Enoch chapter 18 verses 13 through 15. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them, and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years."
And here we are, 6 humans on the International Space Station, the embassy of humankind out in space, continuing an 18-year uninterrupted human presence on this fantastic laboratory. You can look up in the sky and
they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast,
you can look up in the sky and
they behold the beast.
You will see this bright little star.
They behold the beast
moving over the sky.
They behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
You can see that on many, many nights, and if you see it, think about that humans actually built this. That
and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder.
There are right now 6 humans, soon only 3 humans up here, out of the 7 billion humans that live down on Earth. So
when they behold the beast,
give these guys a wave when you see them.
When they behold the beast, 5 are fallen, and 1 is,
I saw in my vision by night, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. To this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads.
All right, I saw Shauna. Hello, Shauna. Good to see you, of course. She says, heaven high, hell low. Well, let's put it this way. Hell is moved. And it's not me saying that. It's Isaiah that says it in Isaiah 14, verse 9. So let's see if I can... I tried to close out everything that I could. I'm going to have to clear out my computer a little bit or something, then maybe the streams will work better. And don't worry, I have a funny video to play coming up. But speaking of Sheol, so let's see here, Google Chrome. I'm going to get you guys over to my Google so you can study with me here. Okay, let's go to here, and let's go to Isaiah 14, where it's talking about Lucifer wanting to ascend into the heavens, but something happens. Okay, let's just look at 14 verse 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. So who's coming, guys? Jesus is coming, right? So it says hell from beneath is moved for thee. So I think hell is beneath the earth, right? That was always my understanding. That was my understanding, that hell was beneath us. Hell's down, right? Makes sense. Well, we have to learn to listen to other things that don't feel natural to us necessarily. Because when I'm just being honest with you, hell I thought was in the earth, like in the bottom of the earth or something, like under the earth, or like in the dirt, you know, like in the ground. I don't know. But then when I really think about it, hell is not a physical place like the same as the earth. Hell is a spiritual place. Hell is for spirits. Your body stays in the dirt, in the grave, right underneath the ground here. But your spirit goes to Sheol, or spirits go to Sheol, right? So it's not a place that's like the earth. And so to be in the earth, which Jesus went into the heart of the earth, right? So there's something there beneath the earth, beneath us. But this is saying, if you think about this, let me look at another version maybe. Let me see. Actually, let's do the Bible Hub thing. Because that's going to give us a better understanding of what this verse is saying. Because it's saying, it's a little bit confusing to me when I read it in the King James here. Let's just look at and see what the Hebrew words say about it. I think it's funny when I talk about going to look at the Hebrew, I hear sometimes, not as much as before, but sometimes people would say, oh, now you're a Hebrew scholar. And I was like, no, there's the internet, guys. Come on. So let's look at let's just read, we'll go right to the verse if we can. Oops. Wow. Okay. So this says, look at all these versions. We'll read a couple of these. This says, let's try the English Standard Version. Sheol, beneath is stirred up to meet you when you come. It rouses the shades to greet you, all who were leaders of the earth. It raises from their thrones all who were kings of the nations. But it's saying it's moved from beneath, okay? But look at the New King James Version. Hell from beneath is excited about you. And it's evil spirits, guys. Sheol below is excited about you to meet you when you come. Where does Jesus come? He comes on the clouds, right? Comes in the clouds of heaven. And then there's other books like the Ascension of Isaiah that clearly says that there's angels fighting in the firmament. Satan and his angels are fighting in the firmament. So that would tell me that it's up there. But let's look at the Hebrew. This could be interesting. I don't think I ever have. Hell from beneath is excited about you to meet you at your coming. It stirs up for you the dead, all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So let's just see what this will say. Sheol or something, I bet. If we look at this, yeah, Sheol. Underworld, place to which people descend at death. So we know what descend means. That goes down, right? Down. Grave, hell, pit. Hades, or the world of the dead. As if a subterranean retreat, including its accessories and inmates. Grave, hell, pit. Okay. So it's going to be moved from underneath. If you have something and you move it from underneath, where are you moving it? But let's go back and look at this a little bit more. Is excited about you to meet you at your coming. Let's see. I guess there's not much more that I can... Oops, wrong one. I was going to say look up from beneath. Just see what that says. What the word that was used was that. And underneath, below, instead of. Okay. Moved from below. So what I'm saying is that I think that when Jesus returns, that Sheol is right above the earth too. And let me tell you this. We've been reading all night here in this stream. We've been reading and playing videos about a place in the sky that is a prison for evil spirits. So that's... Ooh, Isaac and Yeshua's got Luke 23 verse 3. And in the hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. Yeah. Heaven is above hell. Yes, definitely. Hell is darkness. Where do we have darkness? Let's look at the creation story. You guys will like this. I don't know if you've ever thought about this before. The second verse in the Bible talks about a place of darkness. So we're going to look at just the first, and actually we're going to go to Bible Hub on that one too. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. We'll go King James here. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. So we're going to look at this verse in the Hebrew, because that deep, that means abyss. So there was darkness on the face of the abyss. Where do we have darkness? Where is darkness, guys? There's one place in this creation where there's darkness. It's the night sky. And remember, it says the Spirit of God moved over the face of the waters. Let's just hit this button, and then while we wait for that, we'll go to Psalm 18, because there's dark waters in Psalm 18, and God, it is, they're under his feet, you guys. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Okay, we just read that right here. There was darkness over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. So what were under God's feet? It was darkness over the face of the deep that was under God's feet. Okay? And the earth was without form and void. So this place of darkness, or that's what we're going to look up, the face of the deep. The deep is abyss. It's the deep sea abyss. Okay. Now, the oceans on the earth are not the deep. And when there was a flood, the windows let's read about that. I just want to look at that and see what we can find out. I'm just kind of right now I'm just studying the Bible, and you guys are just kind of get to see what what I'm doing, how I do it, I guess. Let's see, where was I going? I already lost it. Oh, it was Genesis 11, right? Is that where the flood is? I don't know what I got. Let's go to the KJV here. My computer is really slow right now. Sorry. I don't know how we just ended up at Genesis 1. Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Or no, this is the Tower of Babel. It's not the right one. See, this is the same thing that, look at, who's taught me reach up to heaven. Okay. Where's the flood? I don't know what chapter that's in. Let's see. Well, anyway, the fountains of the deep were opened, right? And water came from where? The sky? I think that's what happened. But let's go back here again. So as far as hell goes, I think it's oh wait, here's how I can show you guys. Hebrew cosmology. And we'll look at this image, and you guys know this image, and I'll show you. Okay, it's not gonna be hard. Sheol's down here, right? Well, however they get, see, Sheol's not down here. It's not, because in Revelation, they ascend up to the sky, and then the fallen angels come in because they let them in. Sheol's up here. But look at the great deep. See, this depiction right here is not correct. It's not correct. The great deep is not, it is below the earth, but there's a surface here. There's a surface, like a flat surface up in the sky, because there's darkness upon the face of the deep. The face is not shaped like a dome. Is it? I've never seen it shaped like a dome. So I think there is problems with all of these ideas. And like if we look at these ones, they got all this heaven, the sky, waters above, the firmament, heavens. Where's darkness? Darkness upon the face of the deep. That's up here. So they're all missing this. Look at, where's the darkness on this? Well, that's not the best image. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Now this one is just the same thing, but where's the darkness? Where's the darkness? There's darkness up here. So that's but you can tell if hell's beneath the earth, they can just swim up above the earth, right? In those dark waters, the evil spirits. And I think that's what they do. In the Ascension of Isaiah, that's what they do. So let's see here. Okay, let's go to that funny video. You guys ready? Let's do it. I think I called it, what did I call it? That's what I called it. That's that. All right, then I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully yeah, that stream kind of went all over the place, didn't it? All right, you guys have a good night.
Hello all, and welcome to another episode of Effed Up World TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan.
And in the sun, in the shiny part, it's 150 degrees. And in the shade, it's minus 120 degrees.
In the shade in space, it's like minus 250 degrees. But the part of you that's in the sun, it's plus 250 degrees at least.
That is real science. It's a bottomless pit.
The world is flat all the time.
What does the ISS smell like?
Stinky and stinky.
They're like brimstone, like a witch has just been there.
Oh, you can smell a little roast beef.
When we first docked with the shuttle, there was a noticeable smell, but you get accustomed to it very quickly, so I can't tell anything anymore.
There was some I don't know how to describe it, but some feeling that it was real air that was coming in. And on the hatch, I think we told to each other, hey, can you smell the
stinky and
roast beef
in space? What you smell in space in the cabin is generally each other. When we landed on the shuttle, the people that would open up their hatch would get a whiff of this and be like,
I smell a little
stinky and
roast beef.
This was a challenge given to me by peeing upside down.
We don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
There is a magic speed.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Let's take a peek at the process.
It looks kind of flat.
NASA's Rob Simon made this, so some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. The clouds are sort of too see-through, so I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space, but
let's take a peek at the process.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
No, now I'm not sure we went far enough out to encounter the Van Allen radiation belt. Maybe we did.
No. Naturally.
I don't know the distance to the Van Allen radiation belt.
Naturally.
And we used to. If we did, it wasn't a problem.
Naturally. Just as it passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication.
We destroyed that technology.
No. Naturally. We'll pass through the Van Allen belts.
Maybe we did.
An area of dangerous communication. Radiation.
See things that we don't know.
Naturally, radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion.
Flash of light.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice.
No.
Once up and once back.
Space is not necessary.
But Orion has protection.
And it looked like it was on the moon. But
Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves.
Oh man, it's like right at the end of the video and it has to do that. No fair. Alright, Davey313, that was hilarious. She said, I told my husband that he's supposed to make the coffee. It says so in the Bible. No, it doesn't, he said. I said, yes, it says Hebrews. That's great. That's great. Okay, hopefully my video plays. There's only like, my math is a little bit slow. 22 seconds left of this video. So you guys have a great night. Thank you for hanging out, and I love you all, and have a good day.
Of radiation.
I'm not sure.
Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
It's a painful process.
Learn about Flat Earth by subscribing to Effed Up World on YouTube.
The Earth is not curved, that's that.
Hello all, and